And I'll start by letting you know that as treasurer, I've already saved $500 million by managing our state's debt smarter.
But you did nothing about it.
We saved $500 million. We should fully implement the preferred pricing mechanism, which would fully save us $50 million. Governor Swift vetoed part of that legislation and lost some of the savings. There are other Medicaid savings that are in my health care plan, more efficient managing of our managed care programs for senior citizens, increasing energy efficiency. That could save $35 million. We have overlapping agencies. We have 50 different agencies that have fewer than 75 employees. They all have press secretaries, they all have budget people, they all have IT people. We can consolidate some of those agencies and save tens of millions of dollars.
Go ahead.
I have specific plans, and I've already done it as treasurer, and I'll do an even better job as governor.
Go on. This is great. The treasurer's getting religion. I love it, because that's exactly right. We have so many agencies. We have 160 different agencies in state government. Many of them are duplicative. We can combine them and provide better services to our citizens and do it for less money. Now, the treasurer is asking, actually, in her proposals to add as many as 7 new agencies. I haven't seen a single agency that she's suggesting consolidating or getting rid of, but I'm glad to hear that she's got some ideas there. I wish that when she was in the legislature, that instead of voting for the sales tax increase and the income tax increase and the excise tax increase and a higher gas tax, that she'd have taken those ideas to heart. And let me tell you, Barbara, in the last debate, I listed how I would find $1 billion in savings.
I was outside yelling to get in.
I was trying to get you into, but you should know I have a complete list of how I'm going to go after $1 billion. I believe we can save $1 billion in waste in state government, but I can't take out $9 billion. I'll try my darndest, Carla, but I can't see how you get $9 billion without hitting school.
He addressed you directly. Why don't you respond briefly?
The problem is, at the last debate, the numbers that you put on the table weren't real numbers. They were numbers that were pulled out of the air. And that's the difference between being someone who's a CEO or someone who's not been in public service. The numbers have to add up. As treasurer, I've saved concretely over $500 million. I've consolidated operations at the Treasury and Lottery. We now have the most efficiently run state lottery in the entire country. My experience has already demonstrated, I've proven that I know how to save money for the taxpayers. I'm the only candidate up here who's actually done it.
Shannon, go ahead, 10 seconds, and then others will get in. In the last debate, you raised the $500 million. I thought you'd finally recognize when you said, gee, Bill Clinton was how you got it, that you recognized that by saying that the interest rates went down, that was the reason you were able to save $500 million. You also raised your own salary by 60%, took $45,000 in a pay raise. You raised the salaries of your staff by $1 million. You went from $5 million to $6 million. That's not effective management.
She has to have a response, and then I will get you in. I promise. Go ahead.
Let me tell you, and this is great, because actually you're quoted the last debate. You said, I did what just everyone else did. Well, actually, I asked my staff to do a little bit of research to see just how good a job we've done. And we are #1 in the country, #1 of all 50 states in terms of refunding our debt. We have saved over $500 million. We have done that twice as much as the next closest state. So the fact is, you were just wrong last week. You were wrong on your numbers, and we have done a terrific job of standing up for the taxpayers and saving them $500 million.
Go ahead.
I'm the only one up here who's actually done that.
All because interest rates came down.
Go ahead.
All because interest rates came down.
But it's also how aggressively you follow up and down.
You have to manage costs.
You'll have an opportunity to pursue this. Go ahead.
Just add that the issues before the voters are not simply being a better bureaucrat or who can be the best money manager. And we've had a decade of good money managers and experienced financiers in the governor's office. The issues before the voters of Massachusetts go far beyond the financial management skills, although they are important, granted. But there are profound issues that we have not been able to deal with in spite of a booming economy and the best financial times that we've seen in a long time. We have a crisis in healthcare, a crisis in housing, a declining economy that has shifted to a low-wage service economy without benefits. Workers cannot keep their families out of poverty, provide health care. We have urgent issues, and the problem, to my mind, it's not Republican, it's not Democrat, it's the stranglehold of big money on our legislature, which has made it impossible for our government to respond to these critical issues.
Carla Hall has waited patiently. Go ahead.
Thanks. I would suggest